Okay, so question 5. F of x is equal to 2x cubed minus x squared minus 13x minus 6. Use the factor theorem and division to factorise f of x completely. So we must use the factor theorem. So here we go. So we've got to think about what values for x we might put in, and the key is in this minus 6. So it's got to be a number that divides into minus 6. So we've got plus or minus 1 to try, plus or minus 2 to try, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. We've got 8 values there. As soon as we've got one that works, that's fine. And by works I mean equals 0, because if alpha is a root, so let's just give us the factor theorem, things we need to learn. If f of alpha is equal to 0, then alpha is a root. Yeah, the output, the y value is 0. Yeah, so for that input. So then alpha is a root, and x minus alpha is a factor. That's what we need to know in terms of the factor theorem. So we've picked values that we might use, so let's just begin. F of 1 equals 2 lots of 1 cubed minus 1 squared minus 13 lots of 1 minus 6. That gives 2 minus 1 minus 13 minus 6 is equal to minus 18. Okay, now I could put the minus 1 through, but I will, but I should be able to see that if I put minus 1 through, all that's going to happen is that some of these signs are going to change. And I can see that there's no way I can use these numbers to make 0. So I wouldn't be doing this for me in an exam context. I would have rejected minus 1 already. But we will put it in and just see that I'm saying something that makes sense. 2 minus 1 cubed minus 1 squared minus 13 times negative 1 minus 6. Okay, so 2 lots of minus 1 cubed is minus 2. Minus 1 squared is 1 times minus 1, we get there. Plus 13 minus 6. And as I said, the digits are the same. Yeah, the numbers are the same. All that's changed are some of the signs. Yeah, that one stayed the same, that one changed, that one stayed the same. But when I looked at 2 minus 2, 1, 13 and 6, I could tell there's no way of making 0, no matter what those signs were. As a result, this bit I would not have bothered with in the exam at all. I would have then gone to my next number, 2. So let's try f of 2. So we get 2 lots of 2 cubed minus 2 squared minus 13 times 2 minus 6. 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16, minus 4, minus 26, minus 6. Okay, that does not equal 0, therefore 2 not a root, and x minus 2 is not a factor. But this time, when I look at the digits, 16 minus 4 minus 6, I think, oh, if I combine those, I can get 26. 16 plus 4 plus 6 is 26. So this might work. So I'm going to write it out and try it. F of minus 2 equals 2 lots of minus 2 cubed minus 2 squared minus 26. Sorry, it's not minus 26 at all. Sorry, it's minus 13 lots of negative 2. Now it's minus 6. So what happens? Negative 2 cubed is negative 8, times 2 is negative 16. Negative 2 squared is 4, minus that, so we've got minus 4. Negative times negative is positive 26, minus 6 equals 0. Result. So therefore, minus 2 is a root, and x minus negative 2, which equals x plus 2, is a factor. So that is a lot better. So we've now got one factor. So we've done the first thing. We've used the factor theorem. Now we can use division to complete this. So we've got 2x cubed. So f of x, part b if you like, f of x is equal to 2x cubed minus x squared minus 13x minus 6. And we do our division using a grid. So we get x plus 2 we know is a factor. So in here we've got to have 2x cubed. X times what gives 2x cubed? Well, it's 2x squared. So down here we've got plus 4x squared. How many x squareds have we got altogether? Minus x squared, so we need minus 5x squared here. So x times what gives that? Minus 5x. And here we're going to have minus 10x. But we want a total of minus 13x, so we need another minus 3x, which means that's minus 3. And if we've got it right, this is going to be minus 6, because we have no remainder. Yeah, if x plus 2 was a factor, there would be no remainder. X plus 2 is a factor, therefore should be no remainder. So I've got a nice little check in there. Yeah, remainder is 0, because this is minus 6 and this is minus 6. So we now know that f of x is equal to x plus 2 times 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Factorise the quadratic. You can use a grid if you need to. 2x, x, we've got to multiply to give minus 3, so that looks like that's going to be negative 3 to give negative 6x, and add on the 1 to give the minus 5x in total. Okay, hope that's clear. As I say, the last bit of factorising down here you could have done using a grid if you'd wanted to.